We'll do a little meditation first, just to settle down. So I invite everyone to just get comfortable. And just let everything outside of this moment go. Or just let it be. And follow the breath. And feel your body relax with every exhale, and your mind relax, your nervous system relax. And if thoughts come up, don't resist them. Sky never resists the clouds. Just lets them come and go. Even give them love, because the clouds depend on the sky. And vice versa. They're interdependent. So there's an exchange of love and appreciation there. So as a thought arises, don't label it as a good thought or a bad thought. Just love the thought and let it go. And now we're going to give the mind something to do. So place both hands over your lower abdomen. And visualize with your next inhale, breathing in light. And breathing it in through your nose or your mouth, preferably your nose. But also breathe it in through your skin. See the light coming in from 360 degrees and forming in the lower dantian. Where's this light coming from? The soul world, the divine, and the Tao. So now we'll put our awareness softly on where this light's coming from. You have any spiritual fathers or mothers you feel drawn to? Krishna, Shiva, Lao Tzu, Buddha, Jesus, Mary. Even more recent saints like Paramahansa, Yogananda, Maharishi, present day saints like Master Shah, Thich Nhat Hanh, anybody that you really resonate with, see them and say hello. So, dear soul, mind, body of all my spiritual fathers and mothers. And name them in your heart and see them. This is mind power. Seeing them as mind power, calling them as soul power. Hands over the lower abdomen, sitting up straight, body power. All the different saints are servants of Wan Ling, which is all beings, and servants of the divine and Tao. They embody the qualities of the divine and Tao. They're selfless. But they all have their unique wisdom, light, spiritual practice. They've all had their own journey. Very important. Jesus's journey, very different from Buddha. Jesus, according to history, had more of a humble upbringing. Okay, he's a carpenter, for example, in a poor area. The Buddha wasn't. The Buddha was born a prince with the best education, the best everything. So their teachings, although they're very similar, their core spiritual teachings are the same as all of them, but their path is very different. So they can both serve us at different times in our life. So as you see different saints that we're calling, feel them. Feel and see all the lineages of these saints. Their teachers, teachers. Okay, soul power is infinite. Dear Tien, all layers of heaven. Dear Mother Earth, dear Ren, all humanity, please forgive us. Please forgive us for our mistakes in this life and past lives, and please forgive our ancestors for their mistakes. We will save more to be forgiven. To save is to meditate, to chant for all beings, to serve in the world. We'll save more to purify our spiritual death. And we offer our unconditional forgiveness to anyone that's ever hurt or harmed us. May we join as one in love, peace, and harmony. So I'm going to chant a mantra to start with. This is such a powerful mantra. When we speak, okay, the vibration and the message, everything has a message, okay? So the message and the intention of the words we speak literally push the geometric patterns and the vibration into the field. And the intention is as big as the intention. So the intentions for all beings, it will scan all beings, okay? So this mantra is, I forgive Wan Ling, or all beings, all souls. Wan Ling means all souls. Wan Ling, please forgive me. All souls, please forgive me. Wan Ling, or all souls, forgive each other. That message we're putting out, we're calling all beings to forgive each other. We're taking responsibility and leading by example by forgiving all beings first. I forgive all beings, all souls. All souls, please forgive me. All souls forgive each other. Bring love, peace, harmony. Excuse me. What about a chesty cough? I have to clear my throat, sorry. Okay, so one hand on the heart this time, one hand on the lower abdomen. Deep breath in. With the exhale, say and feel, I forgive Wan Ling. W-A-N-L-I-N-G. Wan Ling means all souls, the souls of relationships, every leaf, every cell, everything, every dimension, every realm, Wan Ling, all things. Wan Ling, please forgive me. Inhale. Wanling, forgive each other. Bring love, peace, harmony. We say all souls this time. Deep inhale. I forgive all souls. Feel it. All souls, please forgive me. All souls, forgive each other. Bring love, peace, harmony. We'll do one round of singing it. Inhale. I forgive Wanling. Wanling, please forgive me. Wanling, forgive each other. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Universal love, universal peace, universal harmony for all beings. I forgive Wanling. Wanling, forgive me. Wanling, forgive each other. Bring love, peace, and harmony. I forgive Wanling. Wanling, forgive me. Wanling, forgive each other. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Just stay with the breath. That was maybe 10 minutes practice. Short, simple. Just scan the body and see how you feel. Didn't really plan much for tonight, so we're just going to go through the Tao One text. But before we do, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if there's any questions or anything you want to share, please do. Okay, where we're up to was Tian Di Ren Hui with this text. Means heaven, earth, human beings join as one. One is Tao. This singing or chanting, this mantra, is also to save humanity, Mother Earth, and all universes. The purpose of life is to serve. When you serve, the divine and the Akashic records record your service. At any point through me sharing, you want to jump in, ask a question. You are given virtue, which is divine flowers. Divine flowers are spiritual currency that blesses every aspect of your lives, current and future. To serve is to clear karma. When you serve, heaven gives you virtue. Remember Tao De Jing? Tao is the source. Divine has melded with Tao. Okay, so the divine is an entity, is a being, a soul that has melded with Tao. So soul leader, Lao Qian, great grandfather of heaven. So De is when you align with the Tao and the divine. De is the blessing, the virtue, the merit bestowed upon you by the way of all life, by the Tao, for your service. Okay. Divine flowers are spiritual currency currency that bless every aspect of your lives, current and future. To serve is to clear karma. Take care, Judy. When you serve, heaven gives you virtue. Your karmic lessons are forgiven more and more. In Buddhism, they use an analogy of ink in water. Okay, you have ink in a glass of water or in a glass. As you add clear, clean water, it continues to dilute and neutralize the ink. This is an analogy given for when we actually serve others, we're clearing our karma. The more you serve, the more you are forgiven. In chapter 2 on karma of the authority book of my Soul Power series, The Power of Soul, I share the one sentence secret. Karma is the root cause of success and failure in every aspect of life. This sentence is the Tao of karma, okay, the way of karma. Karma is key for every aspect of life. If one has good karma, he or she will be blessed in his or her current life and future lives. If one has bad karma, he or she will learn lessons, which could be in every aspect of life, including health, relationships, and finances. Tien Di Ren Hui, the mantra, is one of the most important services for Mother Earth and beyond now. To practice Tien Di Ren Hui is to give great service to humanity, Mother Earth, and all universes. The divine and the Akashic records will give huge amounts of virtue to bless those who offer unconditional service during this historic period. We're in a transitional period right now. Therefore, to practice Tien Di Ren Hui is the sacred Tao practice to clear your own bad karma. Right? It's given massive gem here. To bless every aspect of your life, including healing, prevention of sickness, rejuvenation, prolonging life, transformation of relationships and finances, and enlightenment of the soul, heart, mind, and body for yourself and your loved ones. I might just see if I've got a slide here that will explain that from the old Tao Te Ching. Yeah. I'm just going to share my screen with you guys. So this is Tao normal and reverse creation. If you look here where my arrow is, above this line, one and Tao, is the Wu world, the no thingness world. Tao creates one, which is blade condition, Hundonichi, this heavy chi, light chi over eons. Heavy chi falls, light chi rises, creates the manifested world, yin yang. Yin yang is heaven and earth. Even heaven is in the manifested, the physical world, even though we can't see it with our eyes. Two, which is yin and yang, plus the Tao, 2 + 1 is 3. And between yin yang and Tao, one Wu has created all things. So you think about a human being, physical body, soul belongs to heaven, physical body belongs to the earth, and Tao. We need Tao. Tao is in everything. It is the container for life as well. So we can continue to reproduce. So when you look at here, Ren, Di, Tien, okay, human beings, Mother Earth, heaven, and the Tao. A human being, through doing serious spiritual practice, can purify their essence, the Shen Qi Jing, we just call it essence here. and they can meld their essence with the essence of the earth. Okay, we're governed by earth's laws. We jump up, we come back down. The earth follows heaven's laws. Anything that happens on earth, natural disaster, don't get me wrong, some of them are manipulated, but if they are a genuine natural disaster, heaven, there's a spiritual reason for it. Karma governs this world. Heaven follows the Tao. Tao Fadzaran. Tao follows what is natural. So to chant Tien Di Ren Hui, what are you doing? You're saying Tien, heaven, Di, Mother Earth, Ren, human beings, join as one. And this process of reverse creation, which all beings, Master Shah said, the time that we're in right now, so many beings are stuck here in Wambu, birth, old, sick, die, birth, old, sick, die, birth, old, sick, die, and then they're not returning back. They're getting stuck here. And as they're trying to purify karma, they're creating more karma. So many high-level beings in this soul life era are either reincarnating here to help humanity, or they're on standby. You call them. Okay, it's the saints that are now 45,000-year-old saints from the old era. Even time reincarnates in 15,000-year cycles, spiritual cycles. So this time that we're in, if we chant Tien Di Ren Hui, according to the Tao 1 text, for the benefit of all beings, the power of the mantra is harmonizing heaven, earth, and human beings and joining them as one so they return back to the Tao. That's the power and significance of that mantra. Does anyone have any questions on that? Any insights? If anyone has any insights, any aha moments, please share them. Okay. Qi Ju Jie Cheng Xing, Qi San Ju Cheng Feng. Okay. It means energy accumulation forms a shape. Energy dissipation is just like wind blowing away. Okay, so sages in the Himalayas, there's been Western academics that have gone to the Himalayas and actually documented that they've seen yogis who, just as the wind blows, their body just goes with the wind, disappears. So if you look at this model here, the human being, our Shen Qi Jing, our essence, lasts roughly 100 years. So the earth, as always, I believe the earth's always been here. Okay, even in Buddhism, they talk about beginningless time. I wish I had like a disc. I've had a more recent insight into this, which goes into my, maybe not go there because it might. What I don't believe we live in a heliocentric model, and just listening to Buddhism and Buddhist cosmology, I believe that as one comes down to two, this yin yang is actually a flat plane, and we get caught in like a disc, and that's why it's beginningless time, because it's constantly just following itself. You look at cycles, even in the human nature, you know, where we live here, a lot of like 80s clothing and the look, like mullets and certain looks and certain music, it has like a time and it sort of comes back around. All these songs get remixed again and people start wearing the same clothes again. It's like, it's just a cycle. Okay. So when a human being melds their essence with the earth's essence, okay, you're not governed by earth's laws anymore. So when we're down here, we can't fathom someone being able to just disappear and then accumulate somewhere else. We can't wrap our heads around that, even though mainstream science right now definitely says there's a potential for that. because, you know, according to the mainstream quantum mechanics and quantum physics model, we've got 50 trillion cells that make up only 10% of the body. And every cell has an electrical potential of 1.17 volts. So that's a lot of juice if you start tapping into your electrical potential of the body. You know, we only see 0.03% of this reality. So we are really running on empty right now. And a lot of it's down to our belief, what we believe is possible. So I'm not telling you to believe anything, you know, it doesn't work for you. But this is an ancient statements. The book this come from, The Yellow Emperor's Internal Classic, I'm pretty sure it's 5,000-year-old text. But this is what he says, okay? Energy accumulation forms a shape. Energy dissipation is just like the wind flowing it away. This wisdom explains the formation of any growth in the body, including cysts, benign tumors, and cancers. It also gives the healing solution for any such growth in terms of energy. This wisdom has guided traditional Chinese medicine for more than 5,000 years, so it is a 5,000-year-old text. Xing, shape, expresses a thing. A thing has form. It can be in the physical form or the soul form. It is definable, graspable, and observable. San, dissipation, becomes nothingness, which is Tao. Tao is not a thing. Tao is no thing. Tao has no form. Tao is everywhere. Tao is nowhere. Tao cannot be defined, grasped, or observed. A thing has limits and boundaries. Nothingness, Tao, has no limits and boundaries. So again, this actually goes in harmony with what the Buddha taught too. The Buddha said, all things are impermanent. And this is deep wisdom, okay? Impermanence is one of the key pillars of Buddhism, and it's very important because the Buddha said, seek that which is not subject to birth and death. So we can use impermanence to serve us big time, okay? And we can also use it as wisdom. If you have, let's say you have a lot of money, right? Everything you touch just turns good. You've got good karma there, good financial karma. It keeps manifesting. You know, I know people like this. If you're not aware of this wisdom and you're not aware of karma, that good karma, if you're using it in the wrong way, if you're using your money to not serve others with, you can experience going bankrupt. Okay, this is yin-yang alternation, but it's also impermanence of your wealth. It's not permanent. And it's also exhausting your karma. Okay, if you exhaust that karmic debt, your spiritual virtue won't manifest in the physical world. And it's the same with you have a pain happens. You might lose somebody, or or you're going through challenges in a relationship. That's impermanent. Or you get the flu, you feel terrible. It's impermanent. But we use it to we use it to detach as well. So if we know that everything's impermanent, we win the lottery, we might not have that, might not have that money for too long. Impermanent might do us for the rest of this life, but we'll use it wisely to serve others, because spiritual virtue is more important than physical money. So where was I going with that? So going back to that, there is something that's permanent though. The body's impermanent, but the Tao is permanent. The Tao is not subject to time, space, and all the rest of it. So when the Buddha says, seek that which is not subject to birth or death, he's saying seek nirvana. He called it Kung Nirvana, and the Tao is the same teaching, okay? Detach from the world that is permanent get off this wheel, okay, of chasing your tail over eons and eons and thousands of lifetimes of chasing what we think we like, running away from what we think we don't like, and it's just keeping us on the wheel, okay? Any questions on that? Okay. Humans often try to use a thing to understand nothingness, but we can never fully understand and comprehend nothingness. Tao is nothingness. Tao has the smallest energy and smallest matter. These can form the smallest things that are beyond scientists' ability to measure. In history, scientists have always continued to discover smaller and smaller things. For example, there was a time when atoms were not known. Then atoms were considered to be the smallest building blocks of matter. Scientists will continue to discover smaller and smaller things. So he's basically going on talking about how Tao is bigger than biggest, smaller than smallest. I'm just going to jump forward a little bit. Okay, here's a powerful one-sentence secret. Okay, remember this. The higher the power an advanced spiritual being has, the higher the spiritual power an advanced spiritual being has received from Tao, the more humble this being should be. Master Sha has always said power is given, okay? When you see saints like Jesus or, you know, people who have performed healings, that's purely based down to their spiritual standing, purely based off. If you look at the light side and the dark side as well, the dark side try and take whether it's energy, power, and they use fear and control. The light side use love and empowerment to align with the Tao. So the light side gain Tao abilities to dissipate and everything by harmonizing with nature. The dark side try and take it. Okay, it's just no right, wrong, good or bad. It's just nature. We're in the yin yang world, and there's an opposite. Okay, there's an opposite to the light side. There's a dark side. So if you want to align with the light side, humility. In the Tao Te Ching, remember, why do all streams flow to the sea? Because the sea is lower than they are. So power is given. And Master Sha tells all of his students, and he's really been emphasizing it a lot over the past few years. He says, power is given. If I give you guys spiritual healing ability, as easy as it's given, if you are not using it right, or you're creating more karma with the responsibility you've been given, you just get taken back. It's as simple as that. You see high people who spiritual teachers in the world, past and present, they get to a certain level, and on a physical level, they get all this praise, and then they get a big ego. They might keep their position for a while, but they're creating a huge amount of karma. So you got to be careful. You got to be humble. Humility is the key, because Tao's nature is fundamentally humble. Why? Because we don't actually know what the Tao is. Master Sha recently said it's easier to explain to an ant how a plane flies or how a plane works and is created and how it flies. Easier to explain that to an ant than it is for a human to truly understand the Tao. So we don't understand it, but it gives life to everything. It wants nothing in return, doesn't want praise. It doesn't know that it's great. Okay, these are all explanations in the Tao Te Ching. Therefore, its nature is humble. This is why Lao Tzu says water is the closest thing to the Tao in the physical world. The water always flows down. It flows in places we would reject. Okay, in the toilet, for example, in low down places, everywhere water goes, it serves. Okay, it's like the Tao. So follow Tao, flourish. Tao is the universal laws and principles. Tao has Da Tao, which means the big Tao, big universal laws and principles, and Xiao Tao, small Tao. Big Tao is the universal principles and laws. Small Tao is the small principles and laws in every aspect of life, including eating, sleeping, relationships, business, and health. Follow the Tao, flourish, go against Tao, end. Take business for an example. Business has principles including leadership, infrastructure, financial control, marketing, teamwork, coordination, communication, love, peace, harmony, and more. Generally speaking, successful businesses are strong in these areas and qualities. If your business is not successful, find out which areas need improvement. The business follows business principles and has great quality in the above areas. The business could be very successful. If a business does not follow business principles and lacks good quality in these areas, business will be blocked, will continue, and will not be successful. This is the Tao of business. So follow Tao, flourish in Xiao Tao. When he says like eating, sleeping, Master Sha says very, very simple. We should chew our food more. Right? I think in Japanese, researchers said every mouthful should be from, I think it was between like 30 to 60 chews. Okay. Does everyone do that? No, I don't do that. Does everybody sleep, right? Go to bed on time, have enough sleep, use sleep and hygiene, meaning preparing yourself, and not seeing blue light before bed, meditating before bed, whatever. No, people eat at the wrong times, don't chew the food, eat the wrong foods, don't follow the Tao of sleep. There's a Tao, there's a way of everything, and that Xiao Tao, that small Tao, Da Tao is the big universal laws and principles. You follow the Tao, you'll flourish because there's a way of everything. You go against the Tao, you'll finish. So why will you flourish going in harmony with the Tao? Well, the reason is, and which I use this analogy all the time, is a river. If you have a river that's flowing and you jump in the river and go to swim, you don't have to swim directly in the way of the river, but you can swim across at an angle that the river is flowing. And you don't have to use any effort, you can just float. The weight of the river is supporting you moving. But how long will you last if you're trying to swim against it? Okay, look at the energy of the water. You're in the water. Okay, you're in the river and you're swimming against it. This is like you follow the Tao, the universal laws and principles. You're supported by the whole universe. If you go against them, you'll come to an end. Any questions or want to share anything on that? So we go against Tao, finish. Everyone has to eat and everyone should eat properly. Just skip over it. I'll just share there. Many people on Mother Earth have unbalanced emotions. I would like to share some very important spiritual wisdom about emotions that many people are not aware of. The specific issue is the emotion of being upset or angry. In fact, many people are upset or angry. When they are upset, they may yell, they may argue, but they do not know what they have lost. You have shared some key aspects of wisdom in some, I have shared some key aspects of wisdom in some of my previous books. I would like to present this wisdom again because virtue is such a vital aspect of life, including a human being's life and the lives of all universes. Virtue is the record of services in all of one's lifetime. Virtue is expressed and given in the form of heaven's flowers. There are two kinds of service and two kinds of virtue, good and bad. Good virtue is expressed in golden, rainbow, purple, crystal, and other brightly colored flowers. Bad virtue is expressed in black, dark, and grey flowers. If a person offers good service, which includes love, forgiveness, care, compassion, generosity, kindness, integrity, and purity to others in this life and in previous lifetimes, heaven will give this person's soul good virtue with bright, colorful, light flowers. The person offers unpleasant service, which includes killing, harming, taking advantage of others in this life and in previous lives. Heaven will give this person's soul black, dark, or grey flowers. There's an ancient statement, heaven is most fair. There's so many people you'll see in your life, and I used to think like this before I got karma. Why me? This is unfair that this is happening to me. Heaven is most fair. It is what it is. This is why in Buddhism, you create whatever you do in your life. That's why karma is so big in Buddhism. They say, if you going in a certain direction, you're creating habits that are taking you to a bad destination. You'll go in that destination. You'll go in that direction. But if you plant good habits, good seeds in the world, you'll create causes and conditions that will help to progress you on your soul journey. Good virtue gives one rewards in all aspects of life. These rewards include good health, good marriage, good children, good relationships, good finances, and more. Good virtue can give one success in every aspect of life. Bad virtue gives one lessons to learn. These lessons can include poor health, poor marriage, challenges with children, financial difficulties, and other blockages in any aspect of life. And it's interesting because we all have karma, good karma, bad karma in different areas of life. How many people have good virtue in finances, but their families break down, okay? They have terrible relationships with their family, or they have terrible health. The consequence.
Sorry, can I? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Nicholas.
No.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please do.
So you have, is this like in our Akashic records, or this information about our virtue is then stored? So as we live in this lifetime, it's like a report card of flowers, and if you've been good, they're colorful ones, and that could be in all those different areas of our life. So it could be that our finances or health, all those things that you just said, could have all those different colorful or black flowers, depending on your virtue, which is kind of your karmic report card. Is that a sort of a summary of what you just said, just so I'm clear?
Yep.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
No, thank you. The consequences of virtue, good and bad, follow a divine, universal, spiritual law. Karma. Millions of people deeply believe in karma. Some people may not believe in karma. Nobody is forced to believe in karma. But I'm honored to share my insights. I not only believe deeply in karma, I have offered divine karma cleansing since June 2003. Doesn't offer it anymore. So, one sentence secret: karma is the root cause of success and failure in every aspect of life. Through the mistakes we have made in this life and previous lives, we create our bad karma. This is a spiritual debt. We must pay a price for this spiritual debt by learning lessons in different aspects of life. So you can self-clear your bad karma. There is only one way to self-clear karma. Offer unconditional, universal service to others. Make others happier and healthier, empowered and enlightened. Offer this service unconditionally, which means without any expectation. In one of his books, I think it's called, one of his early ones, I think it's called Soul Study. Such an epic introduction, it's just so simple. But he talks about yang karma and yin karma. So yang karma is yang service and yin service, forgive me. So yang service is service that people know you're doing. Okay. Yin service is the service that no one knows you're doing. Okay. And we can do this all the time. I share this many times. You hear two people arguing in a bus station. Okay. You can, in your heart, just, dear soul, my body of these souls, please forgive each other. I love you. Please forgive me. I've contributed in your suffering in any way because they're in front of us. And chant for God's light or whatever you want. Invite them. I invite you to chant with me so we can all heal together. And you can chant it silently. Nobody knows what you're doing other than you and the Tao and heaven. Okay? And you don't do it because it's like, I'm getting virtue for this. Once you do it for virtue, it becomes conditional. The sun is unconditional, the trees are unconditional, the earth is unconditional, the ocean's unconditional. The Tao is unconditional. We do it because it's presented to us and we're entangled in it somewhere. So this is how to live in service. We could be in the post office. Master Shah's actually shared once, I think it was when I was with him live. He said, you know, you can create karma with your senses, with your smell. He said, you go into a public toilet that smells really bad. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, this is disgusting, right? He said, turn on all the love, peace, harmony treasures in there. The all love, peace, harmony transmissions downloaded to this toilet. Please turn on, chant love, peace, harmony in your heart. See light coming there. Okay, I shared it the other day with like Kirlian Photography. They get a high sensitive cameras. They put a leaf on a table. Take the leaf away, take a photograph. There's still an energetic imprint on the table. So everywhere we go, we're leaving energetic imprints. You go into a toilet, which is, you know, might have a lot of negative energetic imprints. We go in there and we can transform it. Okay? We can actually give a positive energetic imprint. So we can serve fundamentally anywhere we are. The more you serve, the faster you can self-clear bad karma. When you serve, heaven gives you flowers. Got over this. The lessons you were to receive due to your bad karma are cancelled little by little. I have explained the essence of virtue and karma cleansing. The purpose is to emphasize the significance of your virtue and your karma for your life. It can be summarized in one sentence. For your good karma, receive blessings and rewards from heaven. For your bad karma, learn lessons in this life and future lives. I might do one more, and then we'll do. Yeah, this is actually a really interesting point because I've actually had people, let's see if they're on the line. I've actually had people argue with me a little bit over this or disagree with this, is totally fine. Now I will share a very important teaching for you and every reader. There is a renowned spiritual statement. Hua Xiao Gong Qilin. It means being upset or angry or yelling at others is a fire to burn the forest of your good virtue, or simply anger burns virtue. I'll just say this because I don't know whether it's mentioned in this book, but it just came to my mind. Master Shah said, if you see two people fighting, he said, if your spiritual channels are open, they are throwing virtue at each other. Okay, so he always used to say, somebody's yelling at you, someone's giving you a hard time, you just silently, thank you, or just remove yourself. He said, the second you fight back, you're throwing virtue back. And the more you understand this wisdom, the more you throw. Okay, if you have no idea of this virtue and you're throwing virtue, okay, back. But the fact that you understand it, okay, and I've still fallen into this trap if I've ever got angry, even since I've been with Master Shah, that's to really wind my neck in. But you just create more calm. And the more of an awareness you have of spiritual laws and principles, the bigger the responsibility you have. So the more virtue you can lose. So the arguments I had was some people saying that anger can be a good thing. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Anything can serve. So I think, but this is an ancient statement, and he's going to go into it now. What happens when, he's going to share what I've just mentioned. What happens when two people quarrel? When one yells at the other, this one is literally throwing virtue to the other. If the other person yells back, then the other person is throwing virtue right back. If you really understand the spiritual law, if you are a high-level spiritual being, you can control your emotions and remain calm. When someone is upset with or angry at you, just relax and let the other person continue to yell. The more the person yells at you, the more virtue this person will lose. You will gain this person's virtue. I have explained how important virtue is for one's spiritual journey and one's physical life. To lose virtue is to lose the most valuable asset, not only for one's present life, but for all of one's lifetimes. To lose virtue is to lose spiritual standing, okay? Spiritual world works off hierarchy, whether people like it or not. You think about Jesus or Buddha, what they have accomplished, would you put them, see everything the same? Okay, equanimity, we see everything. We value a mosquito the same as we value anybody. But, you're in a room and a true enlightened being comes in, there's a respect for that being. There's a high spiritual standing, there's power is given. And they usually stand out because they're humble. So to lose virtue is to lose spiritual standing. To lose virtue is to lose your yin money in the spiritual world. Remember my teaching, virtue, which is spiritual currency, or yin money, can transform into yang money, which is money in the physical world. To lose virtue is to lose spiritual money, just like losing physical money. To lose virtue is worse than losing physical money. To lose virtue can lead to many challenges in this lifetime and future lifetimes. Therefore, this profound and important spiritual teaching, Hua Xiao Gung Qilin, is to share with humanity, not to be upset, not to be angry, not to yell, because you will lose your most important and valuable possession, virtue. The Tao of forgiveness is very important for your virtue, your karma, and more. We want everyone in the family, we're to apply total unconditional forgiveness. There will be no quarreling, no fighting, no conflict in the family. People, we're to apply forgiveness in society and between nations. There will be no war. Spiritual teaching and practice are essential to bring love, peace, harmony to humanity, Mother Earth, and all universes. If one cannot forgive, is upset, angry, quarreling, this will lose virtue. Conflict between two countries is the same as conflict between two persons. Every action, behavior, and thought of a person, an organization, or a country is recorded in the Akashic records. If a person, an organization, or a country serves well, good virtue is given. If a person, an organization, or a country harms or hurts, bad virtue is given. Following Tao is very important for life. Being upset and angry, yelling and fighting, and not following Tao, and you will lose virtue. Your life will be deeply, deeply affected. Sometimes you may not see the lessons right away, but they will come. They could come at any moment. They could come in this life and in many, many future lives. This is how karma works. Highly developed spiritual beings check their actions, behaviors, and thoughts at least 3 times a day. As Kongzi or Confucius taught, if they realized they did something wrong, they instantly do a spiritual practice to ask for forgiveness from the divine and the souls they harmed. They sing or chant and give love to humanity and all souls. Because of their sincere apologies and requests for forgiveness, they can be forgiven very quickly by the divine. So Master Sha used to always teach this. You have a funny thought. One of his longest, in fact, his first disciple, I've spoken about him a few times. He was a neurosurgeon, dropped everything to when he found his Master Sha. Once he was just teaching Master Sha, and for no reason at all, Peter just bowed down on the floor. He just lay down flat, prostrated on the floor. Master Sha obviously knew what he was doing, but he said, Peter, come up and share what's just happened. Why did you bow down? And Peter said, Master Sha was just sitting here, I had a funny thought come in my head. It wasn't a harmonious thought. He said straight away, I bowed down. So, smart, okay? What he's basically saying here is, if we're humble and sincere and we catch our mistakes early and ask for forgiveness, turn it into a universal practice, we can be forgiven on the spot. They are blessed by the divine with divine forgiveness to remove their negative actions, behavior, and thoughts. In this way and others, highly developed spiritual beings pay great attention to avoiding creating bad karma because they understand deeply that bad karma will block their spiritual journey and their physical journey. Bad karma could block every aspect of their lives. I have used the behaviors and emotions of being upset and angry, quarreling and yelling as examples that one must follow the Tao of every aspect of life. These negative behaviors and emotions go against Tao. Therefore, a person who does these things could learn big lessons. In fact, Mother Earth is a place to learn lessons. Every human being on Mother Earth is to learn some lessons. Follow Tao, practice Tao. You can literally avoid the lessons by clearing your own bad karma. This is also why we should be grateful for challenges. This is a place of suffering. This is a layer of hell. Beauty here, the Tao exists here, okay? But this is a place to learn lessons. So we come here to purify our spiritual debt. So when something comes up, a challenge or anything arises, we should grab it with 2 hands, not attached to it, but this is an opportunity to purify this. It's being shown to me while I'm in this body. I only have 100 years in this body, and I've found the Dharma. I've found a spiritual teacher. I have all my faculties to do spiritual practice, which is very rare. Okay? So something arises. I've got the tools to address it. I'm going to address it, purify it, and then on to the next thing. The key to self-clear karma is to give unconditional service to others, to society and humanity. Follow the Tao in every aspect of life and you will flourish. Go against Tao in any aspect of life and all kinds of lessons could be given. All kinds of blockages will deeply affect your life. Okay, call it there. We'll do a little practice. But surely, you got back. That someone's not working tonight. You guys have been quiet tonight, which is good. But if there's anything you want to share, please do, or ask any questions.
Thanks for that, Nick. When you say virtue is thrown at each other, if there's
Yep.
what happens if there's an equal amount of, yelling at each other?
It's a good one, but you're just throwing equal amounts. But the thing is, you're still losing virtue.
Right. That's
But-
okay.
At the end of the day, you're both losing virtue somewhere. You know what I mean? You might be throwing at each other, but the thing is, if let's say both of you are throwing virtue at each other, and then one turns around and genuinely says, "You know what? I'm sorry. Okay, can we please let this go?" And you try and see it from their perspective. Whatever you do, or you chant in your heart, you apply the teachings, then you're not just receiving their virtue. Okay, you're actually now. Remember, Master Shah has been teaching we're in the bitter sea. You're now adding a dimension where you're bringing the divine and Tao into the situation. So you're both getting blessed, but you're getting a massive amount of spiritual virtue there. If you're at that level of consciousness as well, in your heart, you can also ask the soul, whoever you're arguing with, please, can we drop this? I don't want to take your virtue. I want you to keep your virtue. Okay, because you don't want you if you think, oh mate, you just keep giving me a hard time, I'll just take all your virtue. That's pretty that's sort of like still being on the battlefield, and you're just like milking someone. So it hasn't got necessarily good intentions. So it's all about just deepening our compassion, to my understanding, anyway.
Great.
Nick,
Thank you.
Sorry, I was just
Okay.
going to ask, what if you say nothing and they spoke to you and you just couldn't bring yourself to speak to them?
It depends. Are you talking about a situation you've been in?
Yeah, an ex-husband.
Okay, so why were you silent?
I don't know. Just didn't say anything to him.
Because I would say then it's intention. Let's say someone's giving me a hard time now, and I just think, I'm going to be quiet. And on the outside, I'm quiet, and on the inside, I'm thinking, mate, you are such a pain in the ass, blah 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 blah. Feel like slapping you across the head. You're not quiet. Okay, on the outside, you seem quiet, but on the inside, you're actually attacking them. Okay, you're still fighting back. So, or you might be scared. You might be coming from a scared place. It's all about your intention. If you just don't answer them, but in your heart you're saying, "I'm really sorry. I hope please forgive me." And that's not to say, like, don't get me wrong. There's so many ways of looking at this, because somebody might be really aggressive towards you in a public place, and you might say, "May I hope you're okay," and you might just be agitating them. You might be able to remove yourself. But if his agitation, he wants to go and beat a kid up, okay, you might you have some form of duty to help in any way, because it's your karma. You're entangled with the situation. I heard Chogyam Trungpa, who I really like as a Buddhist teacher. He got asked about Jesus when Jesus was in Jerusalem, and they were making money for the spiritual. I can't remember. I don't know the full story, so please forgive me if you guys are Christian and I'm getting it wrong. But remember when he got angry and he flipped the table? Somebody said, was Jesus wrong to act like that? And Chogyam Trungpa's response was great. He said, no. He said, I actually think that's needed more in the world. He said, because he was spontaneously responding to the situation, and he was an enlightened being as well. So he would have done it fully. There would have been no mind chatter. He would have just expressed himself how he felt was needed in the moment. He would have been one with whatever he was doing. So, you know, if somebody else does that, they might not have the same result. They may create karma, but you know, it was Jesus. And the best way I can explain that is, like I may have shared this with you guys before, but one mistake I've made in this life that has really given me a hard time was my mum and dad's house got broken into, and I might have shared this story with you guys before, but a lot of friends came round over the next day or two, and they said it was this guy, okay, and I knew he was a drug addict. And then the day after, he walks past our house again, and long story short, I'll keep it very simple, but I beat him up, okay. Now, I'll always remember that when he regained consciousness again, my mum, I was watching him, and my mum was out. My mum came outside, and I'm really not proud of this story at all. But I'm only sharing it because it's relevant for this, what I'm talking about. But when he came round again, he stood up, and I'll never forget how he walked off. He sort of like staggered away, but it was just for him, it was just like another day in hell. You know what I mean? He was suffering so much. And even when, you know, I used to do Thai boxing, I used to, you know, do things like that in England. I've never really liked fighting. I convinced myself I liked fighting when I was younger to try and survive in that environment. But I never liked, even when I used to spar, I never used to hit people hard. But the reason I'm sharing that is because in this example with Jesus and Chogyam Trungpa, if that gentleman had broken into our house, right, and I caught him in the act, and he was aggressive towards me, then that's a very different situation. But the fact that days had gone past, that was the worst thing I could have done. You know, I could have tried to save, I didn't know any wisdom any better then, but I could have tried to save him. Another thing is, I don't know for an absolute fact it was him. So that's really, really been hard for me. Like, I've really worked as hard as I can. I always include them, even today, in my forgiveness practices and meditations. So I think being present is the key, okay? And because presence is a great environment for compassion. To go back to your question about just being quiet, it depends on what you're feeling inside. You know, there's a great story from Paramahansa Yogananda when he's with his guru and a mosquito lands on him, and he goes to kill the mosquito, and then he goes, oh my, I can't do that. I'm like silently said, I can't do that. I'm with my teacher. His teacher said, kill the mosquito. You've already done it. You've already thought it. So this is the power of thought. And this is the power of asking for forgiveness and nipping it in the bud. You have a funny thought come up that might, you know, there's a lot of research now that it might not be your thought. Okay, with quantum entanglement, we're like antennas, we're putting out thoughts, intentions into the field. My thoughts could be influencing other people next door and things like that. But the thing is, karma still applies, because if a thought reaches you, there's 7.5 billion people. If it's reached you and influenced you, you have a karmic connection with whoever put that thought out. So it's all what the intention is. That, like, if you're being quiet, I would definitely say is better than adding to the argument, but it all depends on what's going on the inside the intention.
Do you know my phone went quiet and turned off, and I only just heard the last.
There you go. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh.
I say that's awesome because that's karma as well.
Mm.
Okay, it could be karma. I'm not saying it's good or bad karma, but there's a reason for it. Okay, there could be something. There could be negative karma you have that don't want you to get the teaching, or there could be good karma you have that don't want you to get the teaching in case it doesn't save you. You with me? We have
Yeah.
to separate this is good or bad. Like there's been many times I've been on the phone with people and they've asked a question and I've gone to answer it, and maybe my answer is too in depth for what they've asked, right? The second I start speaking, phone goes off. So I used to always like phone them up and try and get it across years ago, and then just keep going off. Now I just go, mate, I'll just either change my answer, share something else, or we have to start listening to these things.
Well, I can't wait for the recording because I want to know what you said.
It might be all fuzzy on your computer when you get to it.
I know my ex-husband just had his knees replaced, and I felt sorry for him, and it was lovely to see him stand straight, but everything that come out of his mouth wasn't nice to me, and that I think that's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I mean that's unpleasant. But one thing that I think one side of karma that people miss, right? Because the ego gets in the way, is let's say one of you guys really wanted to just say Nick he made up a lot of lies about me, right? And everybody started to give me a hard time on social media. Everyone thought I was a bad guy. I have to forgive you. So first, if I'm going to apply the teaching, I have to forgive you, which is whoever does it. But I have to ask your soul for forgiveness. And that's the part I think a lot of people can't really see. Somebody just does something really cruel to you. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Because please forgive me, because I have done something that has created this to happen to me. So we never miss the opportunity to offer forgiveness, asking forgiveness too, even if someone hates us.
Thank you.
No, it's okay, thank you.
You're awesome, by the way. No one would. You're the best teacher in the world.
I don't know about that. I
think so.
appreciate you saying it, but everything I'm sharing you comes from my teacher. Okay. So yeah, I appreciate what you said, but that's all good. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
Any other questions, or we'll do a little practice? Okay. Let's do a love, peace, harmony practice. I chanted love, peace, harmony the other day along with the mantra. It was just so nice. Okay, so I invite everybody to just drop everything we spoke about. Close your eyes. If you agreed with some of the things I shared, that's fine. If you disagreed, that's fine. Just drop it all. And just breathe. Love, Peace, Harmony is the first song Master Shah received. It belongs to humanity. I don't know whether everyone knows that. It's copyrighted to humanity. It's humanity's song. His mission is still to get 1.5 billion people singing and meditating along to this song together. And every soul, Wanling, all souls, every soul has a love, peace, harmony, spiritual, divine treasure transmission downloaded to them. If God was to write a song, this is it, okay? And I could share genuinely 10 different insights on the mantra and on the 5 lines. But one, because we've been on like a Buddhist theme for a while, the nature of dependent origination. Everything that arises depends on everything else. Therefore, is empty of a separate self identity. That actually applies in love, peace, harmony. It starts with, I love my heart and soul. So the Buddha said, nothing is to be clung to as I, me, or mine. Right? But in this mantra, it's saying, I love my heart and soul. It is to not love the false self. It is to love the divine nature. We don't know how this beautiful body works. We don't know what the soul is. We can't fathom that there's 50 trillion cells doing 4 million things a second. We don't know. We don't know how that. We're not consciously pumping our heart 100,000 times a day. That is a divine Tao nature in the body. Okay, so to love your heart and soul is to heal, to acknowledge divinity within you. But we're still with an I. Okay, once we are filled with love, we then let it flow out. I love all humanity. We acknowledge divine and Tao nature in all things, but it's still an I. I love my heart and soul, and now I love all humanity. Line 3, join hearts and souls together. But then when that's achieved, okay, love, peace, harmony is achieved. It's not, the mantra doesn't say, I am love, I am peace, I am harmony. It is just the condition of love, peace, harmony. When you look at the nature of a bodhisattva, there's no I that wants to heal the world. They are just embody the condition of compassion. So I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. And then joy, when we get to that stage, it's a path. When we get to the point of calling all souls, join hearts and souls together, divine calling, then the condition is no I. It's universal love, peace, and harmony. In Chinese, it's slightly different. Wan Ling Rong He Mu Shu Shen, line 3. It actually means Wan Ling Rong He, all souls join as one and harmonize the world. So we'll do a invocation. So, dear soul, mind, body of the divine Tao and Yuan Ling, all enlightened souls, all divine Tao treasures, the divine love, peace, harmony, rainbow light ball. So see a spiritual transmission, like a jindan, like a round spiritual ball, the size of a football, and see it in your lower abdomen. And if all beings have received love, peace, harmony transmissions, we're just not observing them. We're not pulling them into manifestations. World love, peace, harmony is already there. We just need to observe it, chant the mantra, and bring humanity and all beings in harmony with that. It's very powerful. So I'm going to give you all a few minutes to call in, and you can call in as you're chanting. Remember, if a being or something comes into your mind, they can be trying to contact you. In fact, this week, Tracy came into my head. I can't remember what day it was, one morning. She came into my head a few times. I always take note of that. I'm not thinking of somebody, and then they come in my mind. Either something's up, or they're trying to contact me, or they might be thinking about me, or there's some spiritual reason. Okay. And I'll always touch base. How you going? So I'll give you a few minutes to invoke anyone, family members, your house, your body, a condition, someone that's hurt you, someone you've hurt. Call them all. Dear sum and body of my mother, my father, my wife and son, my brother, my sister, please join this practice. All the insects in my garden. Dear my house. Okay, this is one of the biggest, most important practices for feng shui, clearing energies in the house. We're calling Poppy, dear soul of Poppy and her parents. Dear Lachlan, please come in. Lottie, anyone you want to call in. And see them sitting with us, peaceful, grounded, filled with light. When we chant this, it's a universal mantra. Okay, we're chanting for the benefit of all beings. I'm going to mute myself and just sing from your heart. Okay, I'll just share my screen again. There we go. I'll just mute myself, guys.
Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony.
So just spend some time in the silence and field of Lupisana. I'm going to offer Dabe Joe blessing. If you don't want to receive, that's fine. Just say no, thank you. If you do want to receive, just make a request. Say your name 3 times. Dear Heaven, my name is. Say your name 3 times. May I receive a blessing for? Make a request. Say thank you from your heart. And then surrender, detach, no expectations, just receive and be grateful. Dear Guan Yin, 87 Buddhas of Dabe Zhou, Chen Shu Chen Yan, 1,000 arms, 1,000 eyes, transmission, Guan Yin lineage. Please offer appropriate healing blessing for everyone's requests. I'm eternally grateful. Scan the body, how you feel now. Blessing, begin. Chen Shu Chen Yan Da Ci Da Bei Ju Ku Ju Nan Guan Da Yuan Man Guan Shi Yin Pu Sa Ling Hui Sheng Xu Chen Guang Jing Man 阿弥陀佛 Master Sha 千手千眼大慈大悲观大圆满无碍大悲心陀罗尼千手千眼大慈大悲观大圆满无碍大悲心陀罗尼千手千眼大慈大悲观大圆满无碍大悲心陀罗尼 Namo Holadano Dulaye Namo Woliye Bolojidi Subalaye Buddhi Sada Poyamo Sada Poyamo Hojalo Nijaye An Sabala Fai Sudano Dashana Mashijali do Imangoliye Bolojidi Shivalanto Panamanology Shili Mohobando Sami Sapo Wodo Doshi Pongoshi and Sapo Sadana Mopa Sadana Mopa Chemopa Tachi do Vamopoloji Luji di Jalo di Ishili Mopodi Sado Sapo Sapo Mola Mola Moshi Moshilito Yangelo Jolo Jamandolo Doro Fashi di Mo Fashi di Tolo Tolo Zarini Shifalaya Jela Jela Momo Famo La Modili Ishi Ishi Shina Shina Wola Shan Vala Shili Faja Fajan Pola Shia Hulu Hulu Mola Hulu Hulu Shili Solo Solo Shili Shili Solo Solo Putie Putie Putoye Putoye Midili Anula Jinsi Sali Sanino Poya Mana Suba Hushito Yesuba Homo Shido Yesuba Hushito Yesuba Laya Suba Ho Nola Jinsi Suba Homo Nona Suba Hoshilo Shango Moshi Yesuba Ho Suba Moho Washido Yesuba Ho Shijila Washido Yesuba Ho Poto Moshi Shito Yesuba Ho Nura Jinji Benji Lai Sobo Homo Polition Jili Sobo, Namahola Dano the Lai Namo Woli, Apology di Super Lai Super Ho, Shitando Mandala Pendo Yu Super Ho. Jingyang Shon Joang and Sobo Ho, Shang Mai Shan Joang and Sobo Ho, Mojeshan Joang and Sobo, Ambo Jule Jile, Sobo Ho. Man Mo Guan Shi Yen Pusa Nan Mo Guan Shi Yen Pusa Nan Mo Li Wei Shang Shu Mo Li Shang Shu How, listen, please. And the hands in a traditional prayer position. And from our heart, we say, how. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Gong, song means respectfully return. Take your time. If you want to share anything, if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to. I actually did a short meditation then so I can stop recording. I'm going to stop recording now because I don't have much room on my cloud. I've still got the Global Awakening meditation in there.